All right, bang, bang. It's the rundown. It's Wednesday, November 17th, presented by Sling. Everybody here likes Sling, right?
Love Sling.
Slinging it.
White Sox Dave, you're a slinger?
Nothing better than slinging it, Ed.
Exactly. So go get some Sling TV. We got Brandon Walker shows on there right now.
Fan favorite.
Fan favorite, exactly. If you love watching live sports but you're tired of high prices, it's time to take control of your TV experience. It's time you got Sling. Sling is a place where your favorite sports channels like ESPN, FS1, TNT, and more are all together for less. And it is the cheapest way to get the best NFL viewing experience on TV with NFL Red Zone.
Yeah, I mean, Red Zone's critical. A lot of people, when they make the switch from this to that, they're nervous about streaming. A big question is, where do I put my Red Zone? And Sling's like, here, we have it for you, waiting.
Yep.
There you go.
No bullshit. I'm so tired of my cable costs. I am actually going to make this switch.
There you go.
Because I'm going to Sling. It just makes too much sense.
Live switch. First live switch in the history
We
of the
got a
rundown,
live
guys. We got to
switcheroo.
tell the people at Sling.
I'm coming to Sling. I'm coming to Sling. Now that like the way that hockey is distributed, you don't need I don't need cable anymore. So fuck cable. And Sling is awesome for sports. They got, like you mentioned, Red Zone. They have it all. Like they have like a great sports package, and it is way cheaper. So this is not even an ad at this point.
Let's keep it going, Ed.
This is just a real thing that's going on in my life that I just can't stomach my cable bill anymore, and I'm making the switch.
Couple different options for you. They got Sling Blue plus a sports package, sports extra package. You get Red Zone, NFL Network, more for only $21 a month for your first month, plus you could watch past episodes of The Rundown, The Yak, Stool Streams, and exclusive new content, Barstool content that is for free on the Barstool Sports channel on Sling. It's easy to set up. It's easy to use. There's no contracts. Starting at just $35 a month. Sign up now and get your first month for just $10. Whatever you're into, Sling is where you can find the live sports you love.
Yeah, Dave, $10
all in
dude.
one. Go to sling.com/Barstool to sign up now and get your first month starting at $10, like I said.
That would save me $250.
Yes.
How they paying for this ad read?
Yes.
I mean, it's just
Yes,
crazy
it
giving
is.
away TV.
There you go.
Crazy.
First topic of the day, Barry Bonds. It's his last chance to get in the Hall of Fame. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. David.
It's such bullshit. I mean, at this point, I know he's a polarizing figure, but I'd kind of pull the shilling and just tell people to go pound sand, because everybody knows he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he did what he did against other juice players, some of whom are in the Hall of Fame. Who gives a shit? Like, it's the nod, but like, he's a Hall of Famer without being a Hall of Famer. It is what it is.
The best player I've ever seen.
He is.
You know, like,
he is.
You don't think so?
Oh, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so.
It, stopped me in my tracks when I talked to Red Rhino, our Giants guy. Mm-hmm. You know, the 17.
Yeah.
I stopped my tracks when he came on the Portnoy show. And I'm like, you probably don't know about Barry Bonds, right?
He
He's
doesn't,
that's
he
sad,
doesn't know
man.
about ESPN live cut-ins. To
Oh, yeah.
Giants games. He doesn't know about that.
See,
Rich Aurelia.
So that, well, the live cut-ins, it wasn't necessarily for Barry Bonds, but in '98 with the home run chase between
They
Sosa
did that.
and
They did
McGuire,
for that, too. Yeah.
like, there'd be games I'd miss, and I remember, like, we had a community pool in the summer, and we'd go there on, like, Saturday mornings, like, as soon as it fucking opened up, just to get all the kids out of the house. And I would make my parents take me to the gas station to get a newspaper to go see if Bonds or Sosa hit a bomb.
Yep.
If I had to, like, miss Sports Center or something. That's the struggle we went through to get our sports news back
Yeah,
in the day.
people don't appreciate that. It's also people always say about Bonds, like, even if he retired instead of starting to do the steroids, which he claims he didn't start until 98 or 99 after, like, the
I believe that.
I kind of believe that, too. So if you stop his career in 98,
He was already a Hall of Famer.
I mean, you guys
Yeah.
are every dad in the United States of America right now, and I love it. That's an all-time. Yeah, Barry Bonds.
see-
If he stops in '96, he's still a Hall of Famer. Like, I feel like
true,
that, and
though.
that's such a cool, powerful part of the legacy where it's like, yeah, I didn't.
He
need
had
to do
two
the
Hall of Fame
I didn't
careers in
fucking
one.
need the steroids, Ed. I did them anyways.
He didn't.
the way that I love that interview, or was it an interview? I can't remember, where he's just like, the story about it, he was like just pissed that Sosa and McGuire were getting all this done. He was like, I'm 10 times a player of those guys. I'm going to do steroids and show everybody what's what. Like, anytime somebody does something like purely out of spite, I'm on board.
Yeah.
So like that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
a
yeah.
spite move. I'm injecting myself with steroids for spite. I'm in.
And
it's crazy. It just undermines the whole.
for anybody watching this
Yeah.
who may be a little younger, say you're a senior in college right now or 22, go to YouTube and Google, and this was in 2003 3, I believe. Eric Gagne versus Barry Bonds. This is when Eric Gagne, who was also just juiced to his fucking out of his mind, throwing 100, 102 miles an hour with a 72 mile an hour changeup. That was just absolutely devastating. He had the specs on, and it was power on power. And Bonds hit a couple of bombs that went foul. Gagne got a couple swings and misses, and I'll let you go and watch the at-bat, but it's the best at-bat of all time.
No spoilers.
That is when baseball was by far and away at its best, most entertaining.
No spoilers about an at-bat 25 years ago.
I mean, and the Oscar
maybe they
for best
know.
original screenplay goes to.
Maybe they want to know.
Great job.
Also, one note on that it is getting down to my Hall of Fame voting season.
I love that. I look forward to that.
It pisses so many people off, and I want to meet one person on earth more than anybody. It could be a president. It could be Michael Jordan. I want to meet the guy that didn't vote for Jeter and gave me that layup. I still get DMs about that saying, why the fuck didn't you vote for Jeter, you fucking greasy asshole, or whatever they say.
Well, look out for that. The White Sox Dave Hall of Fame ballot will be there soon. Next thing, Laura Ingraham. There was a Who's on First situation with the show You on Netflix. Chief, you saw the video. What'd you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I am a guy who will on occasion suffer from big time broken brain. I guess the discussion is it real or not, and people are saying it's like a gimmick, and I think that was like the premise of Hub's thing. Like, was that a bit? And it's
I don't think it was.
I can totally see myself being in Laura Ingram's shoes.
See, the first
I had never heard of that show You on Netflix.
Really?
Oh, that's like the show, right? It's like Squid Games and then that right now.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen it. So for the first minute of that video, when he's like, "It's you," I thought he was talking that they were talking about it on her show.
Same.
You know, I was watching an episode of You where measles came up.
Wait. When did I mention measles?
I don't know. It was on You.
So I fell for it for like a minute too, and then I realized like, oh, he's talking about the show You.
Carl.
So that's why it's a non-story to me. Like, whatever. Could have happened to anybody.
I thought it was a bit. I know this bit well. Many years ago in college, there was like this stupid contest or fucking like talent show that involved the different sports teams, and the baseball team had to submit something. And I ended up doing the Who's on First thing with like my buddy Willie. And they were like, it's a small thing. Some kids from the schools come in from the neighborhood. We do this and that. They were small setting, little talent show. I go into Huff Hall, if you know the University of Illinois, there's 4,000 people in the arena. 2,000, whatever. The whole fucking thing's packed and jammed. And I had to go up, and I fucking bombed. I bombed harder than anybody's ever bombed doing this skit in front of people. And it stuck with me. It's in my heart. I get up every day and think about how bad I bombed that day. And to see Laura Ingraham, I know this skit inside and out. And I'm telling you, she 100%. Whoever wrote that too, good job, because here we are talking about it. But it's a fucking skit. That's the Who's on First.
See, I don't think she knew. I could see her being duped. I think the guy knew. I think the guy knew.
Oh, no, he 100% knew.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Like, he could have backed off like the third, even the second time he could have backed off and been like, no, Laura.
Right.
It's a show on Netflix called You.
He did do that, I thought.
At the end.
At the end. That
has she issued a statement?
I don't
And
know.
what do you do if you're her? Do you lean into it or
no? I would just be like, I haven't seen the show. I got confused. My bad. Because I think it was a very easy mistake to make.
Look out! It's going to be on SNL this
because
Saturday.
she has her own show.
Yeah.
We'll see how they attack it.
Exactly.
She has her own show.
Laura
If
Ingraham show.
they were like talking to us, like I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
The SNL version will be significantly less funny than that version.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They did a good job with her and Tommy Smokes, though. So
That is true.
you never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yep.
Tom Blowcloud for us.
Or maybe that's home cooking for us because we like Tommy and he's one of
Yeah.
our guys. Except for Dave, you don't like Tommy.
No. Why would I like Tommy?
There you go. Ben Simmons. Someone called into a Philly sports radio show. His car got hit, and he was on the phone when they took his call. Hit and run. The guy still goes through with the phone call because he hates Ben Simmons so much. Carl, what do you got?
I mean, they're just made different in Philly. And I'm not trying to
No.
disrespect them.
That is not what is made different. Sports radio show
Yes.
callers are made different.
Yes.
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 Though we absolutely have those in Chicago.
Yes. Dave nailed it. I agree. Do you agree? or
Well,
not?
I'm thinking of the guy who saved the baby and was like, unlike Aguilar. He fucking catches it.
Yeah,
I just,
the news, yeah.
no, I mean, listen. If
Oh yeah, I
that
know.
was a
I
great
remember.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unlike Aguilar.
but a lot of people who call into sports talk radio, like you know those. The 90s weren't easy years getting on the air. Man.
I used to
you
call
call
into-
in from home,
you're on
landline,
hold.
all this stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it's built into some people where it's like, even though today it's easier to sell mobile technology, all that stuff. Like
I used
it's
to
just
be
part
a
of that grind
670
where they're like,
source
all right,
score caller.
we're gonna. You're talking to the producer. All right,
Yeah.
your next caller up. We're gonna put you on the hold. And then the excitement when they ping you in, Eddie, you're on the line now. Like that's a rush for people,
Oh,
right?
big time.
I used to
Fuck the
call
takes.
into the score about once a week after White Sox games when I was 18 years old. So it was when Chris Ranji, who's become a good friend of mine, was the pre and post game show, and I fucking hated him when he was on air before I ever met him in person or got to know him. And I turned into hate listening to him after a game one time, and he was defending Matt Thornton, and he was like, I'm like, there's Matt Thornton sucks at pitching. There's nothing to defend him. He's indefensible at what he's doing right now. And I just called in and laid into Ranji on air. And then like a couple years later, after I'd done it a few times with fake names and aliases and everything, he found out it was me on Twitter and he DM'd me motherfucking me. And then we became like good friends. We go out drinking all the time now.
That's great.
Yeah, good story, right?
2007 White Sox getting you fired up.
Yeah, we're very fired up. I would get pissed.
Yeah.
And I would hate listening to this. But yes, talk talk show. What is it?
Whatever you want.
Sports
to be,
radio
sports
show.
talk radio.
Those callers are different breeds.
Yep.
Yeah, shout out to him. And Ben Simmons. I mean, if there's a guy to hate, if there's a guy that's worth getting your card dinged up for,
He is the guy.
he's certainly hateable for what's going on in
Yeah.
Philly. So
Well, in Phil, how about the Eagles are playing okay?
they're trending.
Are they
up.
looking all right?
They're trending up. They got a pretty weak schedule coming up. So,
So you got to find a place to channel that hate, because if you're a Philly radio caller, you got you have hate to distribute, and it's like, well, the Eagles, they won. Nah, whatever.
Yep. Speaking of that, if someone hates you, you should get Simply Safe, because you never know what could happen.
There you go, Ed.
So if you ever want to make your home feel safer, there is no better time than now. This week, our friends at Simply Safe are giving Rundown listeners early access to all their Black Friday deals, 50% off their award-winning home security. Simply Safe was even named Best Home Security System of 2021 by U.S. News and World Report. You can easily customize the system for your home online in minutes and even get a free custom recommendation from Simply Safe. They're Simply Safe's biggest discount of the year. These are Simply Safe's biggest discount of the year. You can get a complete home security system starting at just over $100. There are no long-term contracts or commitments. It's a really easy way to start feeling a bit more peace of mind. Simply Safe is everybody's favorite home security company, and I'm no exception. Setting up technology is normally a huge hassle, but with Simply Safe, I had my system set up and running to go in no time at all. Take advantage of Simply Safe's early Black Friday deals and get 50% off your new home security system by visiting simplysafe.com/rundown. Again, that's simplysafe.com/rundown for 50% off your entire system. Can't go wrong with 50%.
I think that's a great Christmas present.
There you
so
go.
I got a sister who has a young family now. That's what I'm getting her. I know she won't watch this, so I feel comfortable saying that, but that's what I'm getting for her. It's a Simply Safe system. Thoughtful.
50%
Actually, you
off.
know what? I'm going to cherry pick off that. And
It's a
do
good
something
idea.
for my
People
sister.
are like, oh my God, like you really do care about us. I'm like, yeah, I do. I want you to be safe.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Couple NHL stories back to back here. First was Kevin Hayes scored his first goal of the season and pointed the sky for his brother Jimmy. Chief will kick off with
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody who has come in contact with the Hayes brothers knows that they're like great people, and it was an emotional scene last night for Kevin and a touching tribute, and I think Biz and Witt have done a great job, and all the Chicklets guys have done a great job talking about that, covering that. They have launched the foundation, so go check that out in Jimmy's memory. And yeah, they were just like, and Dave and I went to that bachelor party for Jimmy too, so like we know them a little bit, and they're great guys, and it was great to see, and it was it's one of those things that gives you chills, and you won't forget it. Like, you won't forget it. And it's taken him a month plus to get that first goal, so it was nice to see him break through. And yeah, I love Kevin
Hopefully
Hayes.
that avalanches into like some awesome fucking point streak for him.
I hope so, yeah.
Carl.
Chief said it best.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could do some great things for
Yep.
the cause with
Yeah.
Kevin
And
running the show.
it is like a crisis going on in this
Yeah.
country.
Oh, it's a huge crisis,
yeah,
and they
so-
got a good fucking good podcast behind him that can help spread awareness on that crisis. You know, Chicklets guys are all monsters. So
And credit to the Hayes family for being willing
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
kind
for
of
sure.
the face of this thing. So it's great to see, and I'm glad for Kevin. So
Second thing was the Ryan Reeves fight.
he's a
Takes
bad
on
man.
that.
He is a bad man. And like I watched the fight, the replay this morning, and it's like I don't think I've seen anybody throw that violent of a punch. Like I don't know how you
skates,
measure it, but
yeah.
you know, like in Rocky 4 where Drago like punches that thing and it reads out like a
Yeah,
PSI.
yeah.
I feel like Ryan Reeves hitting that thing would just be off the charts.
My
Like he's
favorite
trying
part-
to break your face.
about that fight was like, so I've never heard of Ryan Reeves prior to this fight, but he had like his arms down at his side and they're kind of circling each other up, and you could tell in his eyes he was looking. He was like, "Come on, man, what are you doing? You know this isn't gonna end well for you." Like his confidence was just so high that he knew that he didn't even have to try, and he was gonna pummel that guy's face in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, should we go to Tom on this too, the Ranger guy? Like, Tom, somebody have the quote that Reeves said post game?
He's like, "I thought he'd be
I
a
guess
better
I-
fighter or something."
One of the quotes was, "It was the second time in my career where I was confused about whether the guy was from minors, an absolute killer trying to make a name for himself." Then he smiled and said, "Both ended the same way."
I mean,
That's just awesome.
He is. And
That's
like,
just awesome.
He to me is like it's Tom Wilson and Reeves, and they're like the heavyweight champions of the NHL right now. And I love Ryan Reeves, and credit to that kid though too, because that is part of like hockey culture. And credit to Reeves for saying like, "All right, you want to dance? Let's fucking dance. I'm gonna pummel your face." And that's what happened. But there is something like that is a thing with minor league guys trying to make a name for himself, trying to be that energy guy. You go and you tap the biggest guy on the the biggest meanest guy you can to fight him, and then sometimes it works out, and then like a lot of times it ends up like that. They used to like Bob Probert had a documentary about him where he would just be like, it's like part of the code, part of the culture, and they'll just fight, and Bob Probert will whip your ass. But if that kid answered the bell, like I can't remember the kid's name right now. But I bet you he gets credit for
Pizzetta,
that. I
Michael
bet you he gets
Pizzetta.
I don't know if he'll get sent back down or what, but bet you he gets a quick call because at least he had the guts to challenge
do
Reeves.
that?
What I
Have him and
well,
Wilson
is that
fought-
like a thing though? Can you say no?
I think Reeves could probably. I think like you can always say no, like I got a hand issue, I got this issue. Like there's ways to be like, hey, like we're not fighting tonight, and people would respect that. Like you don't get jumped. But if Reeves is healthy, and it's like a situation in the game where Reeves feels like it makes sense, like, then he should, oblige. And he did. And it just
He obliged him.
He obliged.
No, but can the guy who fought Reeves say no? Like is that?
I think he wanted it.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Reeves
But,
isn't
oh,
challenging.
it was a personal thing, or it didn't come from like, hey, someone better step up and do it.
No, I think it was like
Oh,
he's
he
like,
was
hey,
just-
like I got a call.
See,
and
you
he's
could,
like,
you could be the baddest dude in the world, but you can't. Sometimes crazy prevails. Obviously, it didn't this time around.
Yeah.
Maybe that guy's just crazy. Crazy guy.
Pizzetta?
Yeah,
You
just
saying
a crazy guy.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, and like I remember when Andrew Shaw first got called for the Blackhawks, like he went out and did the same thing. He fought Zach Ronaldo, and Zach Ronaldo at the time was like one of the meaner guys in the league. And Shaw fought him, and it was like he got a couple in, but he did better than the guy did against Reeves. But it was just like, ooh, I can't believe he fought that guy.
Yeah.
And it's like I fucking like that guy, even though he's bleeding everywhere. I like that guy. And then what do you know? He stays up here for for years. So there is something to it. Hockey's a weird game, but that is part of the culture. And Reeves is, wait till the next game, fight someone maybe.
But is there does it ever get to a point where Reeves is like, I'm not wasting my time on you to take a fucking hockey word, you pigeon? Like
for sure? But I
you
think
don't
there's
qualify.
there's documentaries out there about there's like 2 or 3 like really good ones that talk about like the code and fighting in hockey. Like Reeves knows, like the only reason he's in the NHL is because he has that element to his game. Otherwise, he's not like good enough. And I think there's like a respect level where other guys are trying to do like come up and be that next generation. And Reeves is like, someone gave me a shot. And,
Okay.
and like, so I'm going to give this kid a shot and to make a name for himself. And it just didn't go well. But there is like that kind of mutual, like, hey, this is what we do. We're the gladiators here. Like, let's
do it.
tangle. Yeah.
Last topic here. Mitch Trubisky is having a kid. Carl.
Very excited for the Trubisky family. I just posted a list of names, guys and girls that I think would be fitting. I think the name Miller is a good first name.
Miller Trubisky.
Like Miller. I like a Gene, Larry. I have a Bob, a Frank. Obviously, Carl's in play. It's sad, though, that this baby will not be born in Chicago.
Dave, your reaction.
Larry?
Larry Trubisky?
Well, I don't.
I mean, Larry.
Lawrence Trubisky doesn't command a little bit of Polish respect from you, Dave?
Is that a Polish first name?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Whatever
Lawrence,
he has,
St. Lawrence it's a very biblical.
whatever
not
he
Polish,
does, I would
though.
just recommend
Polish or Catholics?
not making it a name that could be shortened. I don't want his kid to go through the Mitch Mitchell debate that he went
That's
through.
tough. That's a tough spot to be, Ed.
Yes.
As a Ryan, I would love to have a name that could be shortened.
Well, but I'm just saying his specific case that it was such an up in the air. Like,
Yeah, is he Mitch or Mitchell?
what is he? A Rick. I could deal with a Rick.
A lot of people are going to debate whether or not Mitch, in the long run, is a good quarterback. In the NFL.
I bet you-
Furthermore,
he's
I would
from-
say there will be no debate about his quality to quarterback.
Yeah, I brought something with me today. Thought
So
you
let's
guys
do
might
it.
like
Let's just do it. I seriously, I was gonna bring it up like the last thing I was gonna bring up with this, but the fact that you have this,
So
it is.
the most
Mitch is
prestigious
taking
award.
out the MVP award.
Oh my God,
Holy
it's
shit!
majestic.
So what?
It's actually a beautiful trophy.
It is
It's really
really.
dope.
Is it the Nick valuable
Some days
player?
I'm like, I'm not sure how I got it. I think I have you guys to thank for a lot of it, but
And I'm excited to see Mitch take this next step in his life. He's a good guy, man.
What's he gonna do with the MVP trophy?
Probably keep it in his fucking lobby.
Good guy, as long as no one questions his character.
High character guy.
Yeah.
No one's ever said otherwise.
I would actually, I'll double down and say if I was raising a family, I'd trade up for Mitch.
All right, that's the rundown. After show, Dave, you want to get into more about your Taylor Swift, Whitney Houston take?
I didn't have a take on that. I don't think there is a take to be had on it. I think a lot of people said it, but it got lost in the shuffle. Like, Whitney Houston has objectively a better voice, but Taylor Swift has a larger catalog, maybe a better catalog, does a lot of her own writing, not all of her own writing, and she's, like, in the business of music, a complete and total monster, and I mean monster in a good way. But Whitney Houston is...
I thought you did have a take, and it was that you had
No,
two singers who were better, Nora Jones.
No, Nora Jones. I like Nora Jones. I'm talking pure voices. Nora Jones and Bonnie Raitt's voices better than Mariah Carey. And Brandon Walker just he gave the Steve Harvey gift disgusted with my take. And I think that's not some outlandish statement I made. Like Bonnie Raitt, if you Google best female vocalist, Bonnie Raitt will
She's
be
up
on
there for sure.
every list top 10.
Angels from Montgomery. Jam.
It's one of the prettiest songs ever. And then
Agreed. John Prine wrote it.
And then Nora Jones, who's won more Grammys. Not that this is the end all be all or anything close to it, but she's won more Grammys than Mariah Carey has. So it's, again, not some outlandish take. I'm not just throwing shit at the wall or trolling. I think it's subjective opinion. It's what sounds best in your ear. And I think Nora Jones has a better voice than Mariah Carey. And I think that's a crazy statement.
I really like Taylor Swift.
I love her music.
am
I
starting
love her
to
music.
Hate the Swifties on the internet. They are so obnoxious.
Nature of the beast.
But she's
though.
going through a groundbreaking moment for the artist manager relationship.
Yeah.
Breakthrough. Re-recording?
That's
Go Queen. I don't know what you want me to say. You can't say
Not impressed.
any
anything-
mega famous
you can't
celebrity
say anything about her.
like
You can't say,
Beyonce,
I like Whitney
Bieber,
Houston.
Taylor Swift. I got suspended from Twitter a couple years ago. I was walking home from a softball game, and I'm walking to Woody's after a Tuesday night softball game, and I was looking at my phone on the walk. I remember, and Justin Bieber tweeted I like frozen pizza or something like that, and I swear to God, all I responded was pussy. Not you're a fucking pussy. I just said pussy. And the Beliebers reported me so much that I got suspended for 24 hours for targeted harassment or something. So that just comes with being that famous. And you're not that famous unless you are that good at what you do.
Yeah.
So
I like the.
but yes, they're fucking terrorists.
Why do you like this one so
I like
much?
the top 10 list that caught
those are
so
always
much
so
steam.
great.
Barstool is trending.
It was trending.
Because of it.
Yeah.
And it's just that was one of those moments where I'm we're on the right side of history. because all these morons out
Yep.
there who hate Barstool and like we're racing to quote tweet what morons over at Barstool. You're the morons. Like, how could anybody take that seriously?
Ashley Simpson? Are
Like,
you fucking kidding me?
Everybody like with a brain knew it was a joke, and on the other side were all the people who hate us who don't have brains.
I do love JoJo though.
JoJo's got a couple
JoJo's
of bangers.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Was
that.
it really?
The
Oh, I didn't
post
see
wrote
that.
about it, yeah.
Oh shit! did they fall for it? Or did they?
They're just kind of reporting Barstool Sports dragged for trolling best female.
Okay, so they knew.
I
right.
brought this up before though, and I thought it was really funny, and I think the anus and like the tourist, whatever they do, and Jeff D. Lowe and KB and Nick do the maps and they piss people off.
Yeah.
I think that's funny, but then I also think it runs into trouble for people like Dave when he tries to be a serious reporter. I've brought this up before. Like,
When have
don't
I
you
tried
think?
to be a serious reporter?
Like you like breaking news and stuff. You used to be really into that, and
I mean, but you can tell a troll from not a troll.
I don't.
If
Think
I would
but-
never in a million years be like tweet a scoop that was a troll.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if they see like Hall of Fame ballots fake so many years, and then it's well, we're not running with this guy as a source. He like satire humor.
With the Hall of Fame
There's a
ballot,
blending thing,
I
don't
take
you?
my time on that. So I got a buddy named Owen.
Yeah.
Shout out Owen, and he does the Photoshop for me. And
I
it's
know.
been, but hold on, it's gotten to the point where people at Barstool in New York have offered to do the Photoshop. I'm like, no. That's breaking tradition. I want my buddy Owen, who's been doing it the last 5 years, to do it. Who works like a cube job
Respect.
down in Austin, Texas, and he does it because that's just like our thing. It's our like bonding
Respect.
moment, and I'm very methodical about how I make my selections, and I tell all my blue check friends like that. Actually, some of them have Hall of Fame votes. Make sure you retweet this because those are the people that aren't doing any of the trolling, like Scott Merkin, Dan Hayes. He's with the Athletic up in Minnesota now. Like they'll all retweet it for me, and they love it. But once it gets into the internet circles with all the other blue check marks, that's when it gets fun. That's when it gets fun.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't really what I was referring to, but I agree. That's when it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I have a news source or something where I'm like, hey, this is actually like this is meaty here. What pathway do I have to do anything with that if constantly like the vibe is, oh, these are the guys that are
Yeah. Like I don't think
any.
anyone at Barstool can complain if they're not taken seriously. As a
Where I'm
source.
tweeting like, oh, I had it first.
That's my point.
I had it
Yes,
first.
yes.
It's like, yeah, you guys also are the ones that said fucking, like Arby's is the
Yes,
Right.
and it doesn't happen often, but it
Which I
does
like
happen.
Arby's, by the way.
Arby's is disgusting. Come on.
Fuck yourself.
It's so disgusting.
All right. We'll end on Arby's. That's the rundown.
Never had it.
We'll end on that. That's the rundown. We'll see you guys next Wednesday.